Hey howdy, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath Art Valley, found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. And earlier today, I took the video camera out back because it's so beautiful outside. And, made the video with the record sharing, and it's amazing. It's like I live on a highway, which I do, but motorcycles and cars and stuff. I noticed the motorcycles. But there was a lot of traffic and wind noise, and it was so annoying. All that noise took away from me, the star, Manic Mark. So here I am remaking the video. So to do something special, because the special part was being outdoors, I went ahead and did a crow for you. It's a yoga pose, and I could do a side crow, but not with my pants on, I don't think. I had to do, that didn't sound right. I have to be more, like, that's harder. It's harder to do side crow, and I like to be in my shorts, that's right, short pants, to do that. Because I think my leg would slide off my elbow if I did it in my jeans. I don't even know if you could see it when I just did it. I can't cut. This crappy free video software, I tried to cut a video, and then it doesn't work. It just, anyway, so I got to do everything. I can't cut anything out anymore. I can't cut that out. You've noticed that, right? If there's a dull moment, I just leave it in. Not that there has been yet, but if there was one, I would like to cut it out, but I can't. So let's go on to the records. I already know what I'm looking at, so maybe I can go through this more quickly and more precisely. At half price, full price, super high price books today in the dollar bin, there were some interesting things I found, including the cover's a little bit shelf worn, but the record's really clean. A copy of Contemporary Concepts by Stan Kenton, which is sort of like a jazzy big band. Nice stuff, nice stuff. I thought I might feature this, but I ended up not featuring this in the video. Okay, but it's a good record. It's you can buy it on Amazon and everything like that. Okay, I picked up this Living Strings I don't have. Whoa. Manic Mark, you're holding up a record you don't have from 1978. That's right, I don't have this Living Strings. Close Encounters, I looked at it. It has the Close Encounters style, like from the movie Close Encounters style typeface, and then it has these couple in this sort of like, oh, we're being sucked up by an alien spaceship and everything, but it's like, well, are they, or is it just because of Close Encounter, like two, people getting together? But they do cover the theme from the Close Encounters of the Third Kind on that record, so that could be interesting. James Last, it was in shrink, so it's a very incredibly clean cover. James Last does a cover of Yesterday, the Beatles' Yesterday, on that set. Out of Nashville, looks like it's local, but it's not. It's Dan Marshall and his guitar, gospel album. There's definitely a Nashville sound, a lot of talent in Nashville, but I don't really care for the music that comes out of Nashville, the gospel stuff. It's because there's so much talent. It all sounds really sort of the same. Well, music has a regional sound, but it's very refined. It doesn't have like a kind of a roughness that I like. That's the only way I can put it. You could put it better if you went upstairs and thought about it for a while. Are you going to do that? I don't think I can. Frat House Party. This is a great colorful cover. Mayfair All-Star Orchestra. Budget. Label. Mayfair. Nice colorful cover. Need a Light album on command that I may or may not have. Probably have it. From 1970. That's pretty late. Late in the party. Still a double truck. 1970. Was the Enoch Light still alive? I always have to look it up. He died in the early 70s. Anyway, there's a cover of the song from MASH on that. And why? I don't know. A woman from Dayton, Ohio. It's sort of local, although I don't think the record was pressed locally. It's autographed by Big Red. Bigger and better, Big Red. She does a cover of New York, New York. Of course she does. Well, I just don't know. She's probably a belter, Sunbathing in Leningrad, I don't know, it's $1. It was $1. And it's 1988. Way later than records I normally buy, but what the hell. Larry Clinton and Hi-Fi, 1957. It's autographed on the back by Larry, who says in his note, "To Al, without all of your help, this album would not be here today. Gratefully, Larry." So that makes me wonder, who was Al? Could have been anybody. Could have been the guy that served him drinks at the bar down the street. Anyway, Larry Clinton and his orchestra with Helen Ward. I guess she sings on that. RCA Cannon, Perez Prado, Happy Mambo. May or may not have that one. Picked it up. Anyway, I don't have this one. It's a fun cover. Connie, see, it's spelled on the back as C-O-N-N-E-E. But on the front it's spelled C-O-N-N-I-E, so I have no idea. I didn't look that up. But there she is, Connie Boswell, in her Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, 1950s Venus Gold LeMay dress that was probably worn in a B science fiction movie. Don't know. Great cover, great photograph. Speaking of great covers and great photographs, well, Manic Mark, you're holding up a record you just held up last week, didn't you? And the week before that? Well, I just keep finding clean cover. I think this is the cleanest one, the cleanest cover I've found yet. So I picked it up so I could rescan it. Flamencio Live, Carlos Montoya. This should be fun. It'll be interesting to listen to. I like it. I like a little Flamencio now and then. Doesn't everyone? Trumpeter's Holiday. There's 4 artists, bands, I think, on this record. 4 trumpeters playing trumpet tunes on that collection. This came from, it was in the high price bin at $7.98. Piano and pen, Dick Katz. I listened to a track on it. It's pretty interesting, but it was a little bit low key, so I decided not to share it. But I think it's going to be a great listen all the way through. It's like from the late 50s, obviously, because it's in stereo. And it's a great cover, great art on the cover. And this top Jay Gordon record, which I don't have, has a nice looking space age cover on the cover. Guitar music of Latin America. All right, there are a number of well-known guitarists like Villalobos and some other guys I can't pronounce, and then Lorinda Almeida down here. So I don't know. And here's this photograph from the back. So I don't know if they're playing with him, for him, or in addition to him. I'm sure it says it on the back. I don't get it. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. Anyway, it'll be fun to listen to. Stompin' at the Village Inn. It looks like a Dixieland album, and I picked it up. Why? Because the photograph on the cover, it's a great photograph of the band. They're all sparkly in their gold LeMay jackets and sequins dress, but look at the photograph. I'm reverting back to my design college. What do you look at when you look at this record? You look at this piece of paper stuck on the wall, right in the middle. It's right in the middle. It's framed by the group and the top, and it's really an amazing photograph. Well, we're all smiling. Our eyes are open. It's the best picture we got. Use it, okay. And it was fun to find this, although I have 2 copies of it. In what condition, I don't know. This cover is in really excellent condition. Music for Hi-Fi Bugs, conducted and arranged by Peter Rugolo. It's really good. It's a really good album, and it's a fun cover. And I believe, if I remember correctly, somewhere it talks about mono. I don't know if they were apologizing because it's mono and it's in the late 50s and stereo's coming out, or anyway, but it was recorded with 1 microphone for the whole band of, it looks like at least 20 people or more. 1 microphone. It sounds really good. Just with 1 microphone. 1 track, 1 microphone. Here's a bright fluorescent 2-ink job, black and fluorescent ink. It's a private press, the West Virginia University Percussion Ensemble. Percussion group. There they are on the back. Including a piano, which is interesting. The piano might add something, I don't know. It's Chuck Sable and his orchestra, ping pong percussion on Epic. It's probably, if I don't have it, I'm going to scan it again, include the inside cover. Double fold, book fold, double fold, gate fold. Don't go into that again. Okay, I won't. Dale Walton, Second Wind. There's no information. I have no idea. Private Press something or other. I just picked it up. It was $1. Also $1 is Jorgen Ingman, swinging guitar. Looks like 1960 to me. Yeah, and I found a local, although it's country, country pop, a local record on Queen City album, a group out of Dayton called The Decades, playing in beautiful downtown Miamisburg, tunes such as Proud Mary. Usually Proud Mary, that's like the last song on the A side or the B side, but this is the lead track for them, Proud Mary. Jesus is the answer. Did you know that? Did you ask the question? Well, if you did, here's the answer. This is also local on Queen City album. There's the group on the back, the Persuaders. A really nice, clean copy of Stan Kenton Plays for Today. He covers Yesterday, the Beatles song Yesterday, and Michelle. On that record, that'll be fun. Another autographed album, autographed by Jimmy May. Jimmy May, big band. Maybe a touch of jazz. There's a cha-cha tune on it. I don't know what to expect out of it. And last but not least, I'm sampling a song from this, Jazz a la Creole. The tune is on side 1, titled Black Bottom. Sidney Beckett plays the soprano saxophone, Lil Armstrong plays the piano, and Zooty Singleton plays the drums. There's a great kind of rough and ready drum bridge in the middle of the song, which is kind of cool. It's a lot of fun, all right? So when does it go back to? There's a lot of copy on the back, and I just can't sit here and read that. So I almost left out all the fun stories. Well, I don't really even need to tell a fun story. You got to see the crow. I can do that pretty well now. That's because I do on the ab crunching machine. It's a coaster. It's like a thing with a seat on it, on the wheels. In a dip, it goes like this. And you can put weight on it. I put 40 pounds on it. And I do, on off days, I do 600 of them. So that there's a straight position and a side position in this way. So, you know, you're turning your knees basically, and you're just pulling your knees up. 600, and then on the days where I got to do a lot of them, I do 1,200. One day last week, I did 1,500. I'm getting reputation for my ab crunching now. People walk by and are like, "What are you doing?" Like ab crunches. Nobody uses that machine. I said, "Well, I like it." Because a lot of people, they do sit-ups, and there's other things you can do for your abs, but this is more of a, it's more mild, I think, especially on your back, you know. So when I started out, I could, if I did 50, like 100, like 150, 50 of each, and that was a lot. But now it's, I can rip through the whole 1,200 pretty much without, you know, like, that would break it up. Sometimes I do 600 and 600. It's been very helpful to do crows. It helps me do crows. That's it. You can pull your knees up, right? And it's all balanced once you get your knees up. There you go. So what happened today? So I'm in Myers. I'm walking around. There's some things to buy. I look for the clearance stickers. And there's a guy there. He's like 40-something. And he's with some kids, probably teenager. And they got 2 carts, the big ones, not the small ones, but the full-size carts. And they're loading them up with paper towels. Literally as many paper towels as they can get in the cart, and then stacking paper towels on top until it's over the guy, like 6 feet. Stacked up 6 feet or higher. Both carts. I just like walk. Didn't look. I know I was looking enough to see what. Then as I walked by, and sure enough, they pull in a line right behind me where I'm checking out. Like, oh geez. So the girl checking out, she goes, "Oh, a lifetime supply of Bounty." I thought that was pretty funny. He didn't say anything, and I looked up and I said, "Well, you know, somebody's going to say something because you know, look at your cart. It's 6 feet high, full of Bounty paper towels, right? I thought he would probably tell me, well, we got to do this and buy them for somebody. There was a company or whatever. I don't know. He didn't say anything, so I didn't press the story. And then I was like getting stuff out of my cart, and the girl says, I have a funny story for you. Speaking of stories, and I looked up and said, oh, you got a funny story for me? I thought that was kind of odd for her to say that. She's a very cheerful young lady, and she goes, oh no, I was. The point, I realized she was talking to somebody else in the store. Like, oh, I'm not going to hear your funny story. I felt kind of let down, but I thought, well, if it was a long funny story, then I would probably just like, no, let's, after about even at half a minute, if somebody's still telling a story, then you got to get, you just kind of polite, and listen, you kind of shake your head. And that was it. I'm outside working in the yard. It's 3 days in a row, 6 hours a day, 3 truckloads of mulch. And weeding. Oh, geez. And that's not including cleanup, like the big cleanup, which takes me 3 or 4 days. I love my gardens. They're so beautiful. The truck pulls in the driveway. Guy gets out, comes up. I don't know who he is. Comes over and says, hey. I said, hey. He said, my wife sold this house. Was the first, she was a real estate agent. The first house she sold was this house 46 years ago. I was like, wow, that was pretty interesting. So immediately I thought, well, does she remember who was the buyer and who was the seller? What were their names? So he calls her on the phone, and he says, well, do you remember that house you sold? I'm talking to the owner now. And she goes, yeah. And he goes, well, do you remember the names of the buyers and the sellers? And she goes, what? That was 46 years ago. Are you crazy? She couldn't remember. And it was okay. So I thought he'd be interested in knowing a little bit about the house, and she stopped. And he wasn't interested. He was interested in telling me about this farm he bought, this land he bought down the road. Such and such a road? I'm like, no. He's like, oh. Well, we're building a horse barn down there, and he went on about it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. You're building a horse barn. Good luck with that. Down the road, and then property owned down in Covington, rental property where that was, and I said, oh, I owned a house right around the corner from that place you're describing. He was like, oh, well. Did I tell you about my horse barn I'm going to build? That was funny. So I told him there was a motorcycle gang living across the street. He goes, oh, what motorcycle gang? Because then he told me he worked for Harley Davidson. I went, I don't know. They had motorcycles. They were rough-looking characters, and they were a gang of people, but I don't know if they had a name. Yeah, they left when the house caught on fire, and they were gone, and that was the end of them. So it didn't last long. All right, there you go. Well, this was a much more concisely focused video than the first one with the annoying wind and automobile noise in the background was. So I'm glad I came down here and remade it. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. It's been great.